All right, hello everyone. My name is Mark. I'm DJ Solitaire with Matsuri Digital, and I'm here with Tsuyoshi and Maor to talk about their amazing new track, Samsara. So guys, you live in two totally different parts of the world. You got Japan, we've got Israel. How did you guys start to collaborate on this track? How did this track come to happen?
Well, I've been sketching at this track for a while, and start to feel like I thought maybe just I'm gonna ask for my brother, Maor, to finalize it, and so I sent him the demo, and then he kind of reacted so nice, and then so I sent him, and then that's it.
Cool. Is this the first track you guys have done together? No.
No, it's the first time, but it's the first time we're doing ping pong like on the internet, without
exactly.
meeting each other in the studio.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, usually it's when Tsuyoshi is coming to Israel, we have at least 1-2 sessions,
Right.
and then the rest it's more easy. But this time he sent me a proper kind of a tune with the arrangement and sounds and everything, and I took it, give it a little bit some of my groove, some of the production wise, some of the edits, change some parts, and like this we make like a nice kebab.
nice yakiniku as well.
So how did you guys do the back and forth then? Did you do like you're doing email or phone calls or Zoom or like? So how long was that whole process?
Well, Mao doing is he's working very quick, and then when he's got it into it's just he just done it, and then he sent it to me, and then I said something. It was back and forth, almost maybe a couple months or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how much sessions Tsuyoshi work on it, but at the end when I got it, after 1.5 sessions it was done, but then it was about 10 more sessions just to mix it.
Right.
As always.
So, Tsuyoshi, this is like, I think first time in a long time you've produced a track using the name Prana and not using as Tsuyoshi Suzuki. What was the reason for that?
Well, because it's more, I just realized that it was more kind of Prana vibe. Like, as I will answer you later on. It's more, because of the samples from the Prana stuff, previous tracks, and so that's why I put it on. And of course, I asked, I got the authorization from Andy and Nick Taylor. They all said like, yes, Yoshi, please go for it. So, okay.
So using some of the old samples, what made you want to use? What gave you the inspiration to use some of these old Prana samples?
Well, because of the kind of the 90s vibe, I really wanted to do it. So my style is like kind of between inspiration from 90s and then like new production stuff. So and then obviously I really wanted to do something for using samples from the Prana stuff, which is a little bit people knows about it and the kind of thing. So
can you tell us what tracks the samples came from? What Prana tracks?
I took from the 2 tracks from our previous Prana track. It's called X Dimension and Taiyo.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Classic ones. And back then, I mean, a lot of the tracks were slower, and Taiyo's kind of famous, like a much slower track. And this track is also a lot slower than a lot of the modern Goa tracks. So what made you want to write at this kind of slower tempo and the average? I mean, this is what is the tempo on this one? And the average is,
I think 132 maybe.
132, yes. Because it is simple. Just because I wanted to use the Taiyo samples, really, obviously, and then the Taiyo originally like 128 BPM, so it's more close to it. So we cannot change so many numbers from for example, from 28 BPM to 148 BPM. The samples quality, rate, and everything is gone. So I want to keep it. So 130, 32, I guess.
But yeah, there's a really very different vibe with this kind of slower track. Like the power comes through in a very different way than in like a lot of the most of the tracks now is like minimum 140, right?
It feels a little bit more techy, like more tribalistic, techno, Japanese style in some parts, I would say.
Well, what part of the tracks for you make it feel like an old school track? And then what elements do you think it's more like this is a modern track from 2021?
What makes it more old for me, I guess it's when the melodies kicks in, you can definitely feel like there is something that I recognize, which is half true because it's been used in a different way, but it's been already used in the past by Prana and Tayo at some tracks. So this was definitely the parts you can recognize as an old school track, but I think we give a lot of effort to at least from my side, to keep the presentation a bit different for the listener, so it will not sound like something that they already listened to, so many times. And I think in that case we quite succeed because all the people hear it already, didn't say like it's a remix or something like that. It sounds proper, like something we build it new. The inspiration is totally from back then, but the production, all the sample we use, all the sources, the synth line, the synthesizer and everything, it's more like up to date, So the presentation at the end, the result sounds much more new days than but with the old vibe for sure.
All the Tayo samples and Next Dimension samples, this was from Monopoly. And I really liked the Nick's riff, so I really wanted to use it. And I asked for Nick, hey, can we use these samples? He said, hey, of course, let's go for it, So I put it on there, and then Maor did the more kind of arrange it to it, and then he made a copy of it, and then it makes more kind of sound of now. So
what about the title? Was this a working title? What was the inspiration, and was it a working title before the track was finished?
Okay, what's the concept? Okay, this track is inspired from the 90s. Let's use it from the 90s, like a party words or something. And I just got like, hey, okay, what about Samsara? And there's the party is called Escape from Samsara in London or something. Yeah. And maybe Maor wasn't that kind of he's too young for this. Maybe it's just me and then Mark's age or something. But it was kind of the London acid techno.
Few words about the title. Tsuyoshi and Mark came to Israel and played in my party in 2008. It's called Samsara as well. So this was another connection. And the third connection was that Tsuyoshi thought about name that will try to connect between the old school to the new school kind of. And Samsara, it's about circle of life in a way. So everything got connected at the end, and the title was, after we struggle a lot, it became nicely, I guess.
But it's got all of this, right? It's got hard, it's got logic, it's got like old school, it's got new school. Like it's a really rich, multi-dimensional track.
Yeah.
I mean, how you did it, the fact that you did this across the world with technology, it's kind of like also the message of the scene, the scene is like very much based on like the music, technological music, bridging the world and bridging people all around the world. So even like the whole production method is kind of like really tied in with the energy and the message of, the heart of this international, intergalactic dance music kind of thing. Anything else you want to say about this track?
Well, it's just really impressed and amazed that Maor did the amazing work for me. It's like when he sent me first time, I was totally crying. That's because I put so much energy to this concept of the music, and then it's this amazing sound productions, and then even he put this TB303 riffs, and in the end it's like, wow, and I was so happy to receive that his production is so much. It was amazing. And I have to say thank you so much, Maor-san.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and I must to add, like it's opened for us a new dimension of working because we till now we only used to work like as we said before, like face to face. Usually in my studio because I have a proper studio. So and Tsuyoshi come very often to Israel before the corona, so it was more easy for us to meet in the studio to see it 1 or 2 sessions and then to write a tune. But now it's even more easy because we know that each other can send each one file, and we can also reconnect like in the internet. So so it's open another portal for our working method.
Yeah, how we do it, it's just like another dimension to do it. But I totally prefer to come to your studio, Maor-san.
I know, I prefer that too.
I visit your studio and maybe make maybe one loop. I don't know.
Not maybe. You definitely need to make at least one track together. Another one soon. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are going to be able to work together again. I mean, just the way that you were able to do this just with technology is fantastic. It's an incredible track. It's really, I think you guys did, you know, as somebody who's coming really from the 90s, like you, Tsuyoshi, who like, I love the 90s stuff, and I also love like what we can do with new music, with like great production and new technology and new styles and everything. I think you guys have just done the perfect balance of blending the old and the new and make this really timeless track. So awesome work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you guys, so much, and everybody out there.
Early mornings. Thank you.
No problem. Everybody out there, be sure to check this out on Matsuri Digital. New track, Samsara, absolute killer, and tune in and blast off.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Keep in touch.
Bye bye. Ciao.
Bye bye.
Arigato.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.